Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today is the alphabet challenge day. We have the letter E to do, and the prompts are emboss, eight, like the letter eight, embroidery thread, and the bonus is egg. Now, Jody Lewis Creations is the one that hosts this, and I watched her video yesterday and she skipped the egg part, but I figured out a way to work it into mine. Now just wait to see. I'm going to give you a sneaky peek real quick and then we'll get to it. So on this section, I must have been concentrating on Idabelle Salmons. That was Grandma's oldest sister that married Picture Taken D. So all of these people on these pages are connected with her. And these are her two sons, which is Roy White and then Milton Ford Markham. And then down here was, I think, I think that's Milton right there. And then these were two like brother-in-laws. And then here is two of the daughters with all their children. And over here, we had this photo, interestingly enough. This little photo right here was in our shoebox of photos. And on the back, it had, this is Junie's picture. She is awful big and fat. She is 3 years old, June. So, I didn't know who this was. And it ends up, this is June Irene Parsley. And that's Myrtle's daughter, and she is a daughter of Ida and Dee. So we finally got that figured out. We also had this photo of this pretty lady, and this is Anna Gay. And I don't even know, it didn't really have anything on it. It just had "To Jewel with Love." And then when I started talking with Ella May, who is this lady here and here, she was the one that was able to tell me who Anna Gay was, because that's her sister. And so I've got a little story over here. You always like to hear the family stories. So, okay, I'd been told a story about D. Markham by my Uncle Fred back in 1991. That's my dad's oldest brother. He said D. Markham went off to take pictures often, and while he was away, he had a tendency to drink a lot. Ida usually was always around to nurse him back to health. When he got home from one particular trip, he was so wore out from drinking that he thought he was going to die. He stumbled in bed immediately upon getting home and told Ida to call his two boys, Roy and Milton, over here, to his deathbed. Dee told Milton that he could have his razor and Roy was to have his mule. Ida asked him sarcastically what he wanted those darn yachtswomen to have. That, I don't know where that was. I know he went through Monroe Gap a lot, and I know there was a drinking session up there, and there was a few ladies around. So I don't know if that's maybe where the yachtswomen were. I don't really know. Now, Ella May elaborated on the story about Dee leaving the mule and a straight razor to his two sons. It had a different word in it besides yachts. Monroe Salmons, who I was just speaking about, and family lived at Yachts Gap. Oh, and Poppy would go through there. He'd tend to stay there sometimes and drink a lot and partied around while visiting. He had a girlfriend there named Liz, or Lies. So when he's leaving his sons his prized possessions, Ada walks in the room and says, "And what are you going to leave old Lies?" In the telling down the years, someone said yachts, and it must have stayed this way. And that's when Uncle Fred heard it. Monroe Salmon's full name is James Monroe, and he's the son of Carter Salmons and his second wife, Louise Brewer. Now, Cart Salmons had married my great-grandma, Mary Elizabeth Mills, and so, it kind of goes around like that. The funny, joke that everybody tells about everybody being related, it is very true. It is very true, because they lived up in those hollers. There wasn't, and then, you know, before any kind of transportation got around, it was very hard to really go very far before you met somebody that wasn't already related to you. Um, I met this lady that she was she was a Markham and had been married to a Salmons. Well, I got to talking to her, and before, I didn't have a computer back then. This is way back. I did have a two books, and one had my Markhams in it, and one had my Salmons in it. So I'm pedaling through and finding her, and then I'm pedaling through and finding his parents, and then I realized they were first cousins. She was a teacher and everything, but and I said, "Oh, y'all were first cousins because their mothers or something were siblings." And she said, "Oh, well, we weren't raised together. Like that made a difference with blood." So I don't know. I just left it be. Uh, so here's a little collage that I made. I probably showed you that earlier on, but here's my e-page. So I got this really big spread of teal here, but I have a little bit of blue up here on my letter. So I picked out the embroidery floss to kind of complement that. And you'll see how I use that in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and close this because we'll make it all the way up before we put it into our book like we usually do. Now in here, I have this blue page right here that I think will work perfectly. Now this is a, oh gosh, this is a book, I think it's Family Heirlooms by Bo Bunny, and I really loved all the different things that came in it. It's been a couple years out, so, but it had all these different things that came with it, like die cuts and stickers and yada yada. I really love this brick design too. That was one of my favorites. I think I made a couple of scenes with that, to tell you the truth. And I'm going to get to drawing. I probably will fold this in half. Let me go over here and score it directly in half. All right, this was 8 inches tall, so I scored it at 4. So we're going to go ahead and fold it in half. And then I have to draw a outline on it with my pencil. And what I'm going to make, I'm sort of going kind of with an idea of a, you know, those beautiful eggs from Russia. Let me actually draw this on a piece of paper first. Let's see, will that work? Yeah, let's go ahead and do it this way. But those beautiful eggs in Russia that had all the jewels and things on it. What were those called? Fabergé eggs, I believe. Well, this is sort of going to be my play on a Fabergé egg. Is this 4 inches? Okay, I got to make sure I keep it at 4 inches. And then this will be down here, kind of the base. Yeah, me and Mom stopped at the store yesterday so I could get some goodies to take with me. And I got to go out there today and clean the car out a little bit. I'm not much of a cleaner, y'all. Who else is related to me that way? I just have never been a cleaner. But I got to clean it out because I'm sure I'll be driving because we always kind of transfer back and forth with the driving. And anyhow, yeah, I got to get that done. So I figured, and I got to get a few videos done. I know that I'll worry at that unless I do it. I know some of y'all said don't worry about it, but that's just me. I'll worry about it. All right, that looks like an egg, doesn't it? It's a little pointy on that end, but I think I'll be okay with that. Now, let me get it over here. And I need to leave it to where it will fold. So I need to overlap it just a little bit. Should I do it that way or should I do it that way? I think I need to do it this way for the idea to result. Now I'm going to go over here so I can save the rest of this. I think that little bit of a hinge there is about all I might need. Let me get back in here with this and draw around it. So, there. I think that should work. I hope that's not too small of an edge up on top. It's making me wonder. I think I'll just leave it as it is there. So let's cut that out, and then we're going to have to emboss it. So let me go around like this. But yeah, I have to go out and do a little cleaning. I figured I'd do a video, and then I'd let my phone charge back up again, because it always kind of drains it. Then I'll go out and clean, and then I'll come back, and I'll do another video. I've got a few ideas here. I know I did one yesterday or the day before, whenever you see this, of me decorating the pages in the antique journal. So that's what I've been working on. So I have at least 1 or 2 more videos of that. I don't know. I want to put something in between so you don't see the same old all the time. I was thinking this embossing folder would fit through my Sizzix, but I don't think it is. It's too wide, so I got to get my big embossing die cut machine out. Okay, this is my Spellbinders Platinum. I was looking around to see what kind of a die cut machine I wanted, and I finally decided on this. And it's 6 inches. It does what I need. I've been using the same plates since the beginning. Oh, okay. Now, what I want to do with this is I only want to emboss the top of this. So my idea is, see how I got to do, I can't use the plates. When I'm embossing, I use this rubber mat. Because I don't care what they say with, and then this is a rubber mat that came with it. I don't care what they say, but this sandwich formula that they give you does not always work. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of my spray and spray this top section that I'm going to emboss. Now what that does, it helps loosen the fibers of the paper. You can actually smooth it around a little bit if you want to, if you don't think it's sprayed good, because my sprayer is not the best. So I'm going to put it in here, and it's going to push down. Okay, one's emboss and one's deboss. I want it to push. Okay, yeah. So I want it to be in this way, because I want it to push the leaves to come up, because I want to highlight them. I'm not quite all the way out here. Now I'm doing it this way, so it will only emboss the top side. So let's get it in here. Oh, well, that's not doing too well. Let's see. Will that work? Oh goodness, that's really tight. But it should emboss it really good for me. Oh, wow. You just never know. Now, sometimes we'll make shims out of just paper or chipboard and stuff like that. And okay, let's get this out of the way and see what we got. Oop, don't need that. Ooh, yeah. That really put the embossed image on there for me. Okay, so let's set that aside and let me clean off my desk. Okay, I've taken my egg, and I've also cut 2 more pieces out of a lighter shade because that'll give me the ability to write on that. You know me, I'm always making something that's going to be where you can journal. That's just my thing. I mean, you can make a lookbook if you want to. Now, that's different, but I am always fascinated in secret journaling and stuff of that nature. I don't know if I'm quite on the money here with the distance from the fold over, so we're going to find out. Even if it's not that close, it's okay, because I need to put a piece of washi tape in the center of that, just so it'll give it some extra strength. So we are doing that as well. Alright. Throw those in the trash. Plus, this is not the strongest, and I'm needing it to give the form back to it. I've got a little bit of washi right here. I've been using it in my antique journal because it's got like a camera and tickets and stuff like that on it. But I thought if I go up like that, and I need to put a little bit of glue of some sort on the outside edge of it. And then once I glue the inside part down, it'll be in there good. Alright, let me get it in there just like that. And I think that should do it. I can't foresee myself opening and closing that for a lot of time. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and let's see what our shape looks like. Actually, this looks bigger than an actual egg. Good grief. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and ink with, should I do vintage photo? I'll just ink around with vintage photo. So if it tips, it sticks out just a little bit, I'll have this as sort of a border. And I'll do that on the back side. So, how is everyone doing today? I sure hope you're doing good. And was everybody doing the spring dance? It actually got warmer here yesterday, and then today it's not bad. It's got a little bit of rain happening out there now and then. Hopefully it doesn't drown me when I go out there after this video. But anyhow, I'm really hoping there's going to be some nicer weather. I could have wore shorts yesterday. It was that hot. I had a jacket on. Oh, I don't know. I've always usually ran hot, so I like the cold more. But I guess as I've gotten older, the skin thins out a little bit. So, all right. So I'm going to glue this little guy down and have him in here. Oh, there was something I was going to do. Something else I was going to do. I just now remembered. So I may have to get off here in a second and rethink a little bit and see what I need to do with that. But I think for right now, this is going to work just fine. Okay. It's just one of my prompts that I was going to be working into this. It'll all come together here in the end. I promise. It always does. I just like to think outside of the box and get what I can get together. All right. I may actually go and trim around this. I don't think that's going to work. As you can see, it's sticking out in different locations. So let me get this on here and I'll be back. Okay, I got my centers in there, and as you can see, I've went over my egg again and I've shrunk it a little bit, and I'm going to cut out another form like this and use it as my template. There we go. Yay. But I do have a point on it. I don't know if I want that or if I don't. Let me round the point just a tad. I don't want it that round or pointing. Yeah, don't want it pointy. Okay, let's see what we got here. Do the same thing to the other side. All right. think that's it. And then I'm going to get on here and I'm going to draw it on this scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to draw out too. Mostly where there's not that much coffee stain. I put a lot of coffee ground on this, and I found out that it actually sticks when it dries. And this one was really, really hard to try to get it off. So let me cut these out. Okay, I edged these with a little bit of scorched timber just to bring that outlined edge into prominence. And I'm going to glue these down now. And this is not going to hinder if you want to write in here at all. Get that wiped in. I'm trying to get it as straight as possible. It may not work. My husband showed me on our TV that we can watch a channel called Tubi, Tubi. And it's got all these, it's actually got regular TV shows on there as well, sort of. But it's got a lot of movies, and they're categorized, and I've been going through the sci-fi and fantasy ones pretty much lately. I really, really love sci-fi and fantasy. Alright, I'm not too crazy about this whitey kind of a look showing here, so I'm going to go in there with my vintage photo and dose that up a bit. There we go. All right. So at the moment, I want to decorate up my outside edge. And I'm going to use my iced spruce, or iced espresso. I don't know if you can read that. It's so shiny. Metallic luster. And so I'm just going to rub a little bit on my finger and on here. And then we're going to go to the top here, and I'm going to really rub it in, if that will work for me. There we go. It's going to give the impression that this is a pretty metallic, just like the Fabergé eggs. I thought that would be really, really pretty. You just got to make sure you don't get a glob on your finger. That's the trick. You kind of rub it to where it's nice and flat, and then you build it up. You don't go whole hog. Go in whole hog. Okay. And yeah, you can keep building to where you get it to be that nice pretty color. Now this one edge I didn't get that much on, but we're also going to go around the outside edge as well and build that up with some of this color. Just so it's sort of an outline design. And that is going to take care of that little spot that I didn't get anything. I need to find me a few more colors of this. I did look at Hobby Lobby when I was there the other day. But I don't know. I may shop online and see what I can get. Does anybody else use any kind of luster things? I know Jody does. So maybe I have to see if she can promote a few that she suggests that I use or try out. You know me, I'm always trying things out to see if I like them. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit right up here at the top. Just where it kind of comes together. There we go. Okay. Now. Okay, now I have a eyelet that I need to put in. And I need to change around the pieces on my crocodile here. I think that needs to go around to there. Okay. Now first I'm going to cut in my hole. It's just going to be right down here at the very base. Right there. Put in my eyelet. Hopefully it works. Sometimes they like to fight you. You put this little nose into there and you pinch it. And it did pretty good. Now, I've shown you in the past where, you know, it's not that pretty of a look. And if you're worried about it getting you, you can also put a little bit of glue around it like that. But yeah, that keeps the raw pointy edges from getting you. And then here's our other prompt word, which is embossing thread. And I'm going to get a little piece of that. And I guess that's it, isn't it? I'm using probably a 3 thread one. I don't need it to be very big. And I also want to try to get it through this butterfly. So that's why, that's why I'm keeping it thin, because it's hard to get it through some of the bead work. Did it go through? Yeah, it did. Now I just got to figure out how to tie it at the end to where it's not going to go through again. So I think I'll just sit here and tie a few knots. Okay, I've got it to where it's going to stay on there. And I'm going to go in now. Yeah, it's my top. I was worried I had it on the wrong one. But I'm going to go in here and I'm going to tie a knot on this one as well. Just so I've got a little bit of string and a dangle. So here we go. Tie me sort of a loose knot 3 times, pull tight, and I'm gonna trim that off really close. There we go. It's probably a prettier way to do it, but I think that'll work. Now I've got this one little piece of bling, and I can't figure out. I looked at Michael's, I looked at Hobby Lobby. They must have gotten rid of them, but I love them. There was a white one, a tan one. I can't remember the other color, but they got like a little bit of gold in it as well, and it's faceted. And I thought, well, maybe if I don't want this eyelet to show, I can actually, I can actually put it over that. And I think that might work. I put a little dab of glue on the back of this, and let's see how it, especially around the outside edge, because I got a hole there. So let's see if I can put that ugly knot right there and then bring it down and see if that will work. I think that might do it. Let me put a little weight on it for a second. Okay, we have all of our pieces. I do have something that I'm going to do here with these 4 1-inch circles. Let's find my spot first. I think it's right here. Yeah. And I'll put my weight on it. Now we're going to put it on this left side. I'm leaving this side in case I want it for writing. So this is all ready to go. And I've got a gold foil one here. That's going to be the top one. I found a blue and 2 black. Well, one of the blacks is going to be the back. And that's the part we'll glue down. Then I'm going to glue this blue one. This is usually how I'll do my kind of policy closure pieces. There's different ways you can do them, but I like to do them like this, where I'll build, and just in case this blue shows a little bit, that's good because that'll go with the theme, you know. And then I'll put this on top of there. And the next step, you don't glue the back one down. Got a little bit of glue on there. We're actually going to use a that's not an eyelet, whatever that is, a brad. Please. Okay. So I'm going to punch a small dot right in the center, or as close as possible. I think it's going to do nicely. And we're putting it all the way through. Am I on screen? I'm sorry. So what I've done is I have that one loose one at the back. Now that's in between there is where the string's going. So if you're wondering, I wouldn't press this down very hard. Now it's going to go on after I figure out where I want the rest of these pieces. This is going to go probably right here in the center. And then I can put my circle right down below it. So let's get that one all glued up. And it's going down all the way. And I'm gluing paper to paper. So it's going to probably glue down just fine. Oh. So let's get this over here where you can see it. I did zoom in, so I'm thinking that's where I'm having a little bit of issue of you being able to see. So I'm going to put this right in the center as close as possible. Okay. Push that down. Then we're going to take our policy closure and glue on it. All the way around that brad. And then I'm going to put it right down below that edge of the egg. Right there. So, and watch you don't get too close to that hole of the brad where you put the brad on, because it might seep up through there. I don't think you'd want that. Okay. I don't know that I even want to worry with a saying or anything of that nature, but here is how how it ended up. So this can wind around here to be closed like that, and my little butterfly just hangs out, so it's not going to add bulk. So that's the way it's going to be. And then when you open it, we have our embroidery thread. We have embossed. When you get inside, you have, this looks like a toilet bowl. Oh my God. Okay, don't look at that. Don't let me put that in your head. We have our 8, and we also have our egg. It's in my head. It won't go away. Oh my gosh. Okay. Enough of that, Rhoda. All right. So that's where you can write or journal or put a picture or something along those lines. And so there we go. There is my alphabet challenge E. And I have done all the 4 prompts. All right. Thank you, all my subscribers and viewers, for coming by to visit. I hope you got a good laugh out of that. And I will talk to you again soon. And I will be getting back to you after the week and filling you in on all the adventures that I got on. So everybody, take care. Bye-bye.